Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about how Texas can become more influential in the presidency, House of Representatives, and Senate. So, it obviously will benefit the Democratic Party as Texas gains more electoral vote weight, more people moving into the state, more House district, obviously the same amount of senators. No matter what, the amount of senators is not going to change, but that could benefit the Democratic Party moving on, knowing that Democrats can win Texas and knowing that Democrats will not need to win other states. And if Democrats can take back Texas and they lose many other states, they are still at that point where they win the election, they win the Senate, and they win the House of Representatives. So it will benefit the Democrats a lot having Texas shifting their way. It didn't happen this election, but it might happen the next one. So if you guys haven't already, please subscribe and like this video. Click the notification bell to receive notifications every time I post, which will be daily. And just comment any suggestions on other types of videos, because sometimes we do run out of ideas. So yeah, just give me some feedback. So let's get straight into the video. So if let's just say it's gonna benefit the Republicans if they hold on to Texas. But I'm gonna put in this scenario. Let's just say Republicans are going to win many other states. The Republicans will keep on carrying multiple other states shifting their way. I'm just going to say, what if Republicans flip Michigan? And what if Republicans will go on to a few other states? And if Republicans flip Michigan, now they're going to have, obviously, a seat in Texas, which puts them at 50. But because Joe Biden and the presidency, it's still a Democratic majority. Now, let's just say states like North Carolina, states like Georgia, states, those particular states are shifting their way. So if they carry these states, it's a 50-50. But we're going to obviously give back Michigan, because for the sake of this video, Democrats have Michigan. And we're just going to imagine Democrats pick up Texas. That puts them from 51 up to 52. So this could be really beneficial. And what this could mean, well, if Republicans take back Michigan, Democrats still have a majority. Republicans take back Minnesota, this could still mean Democrats, if they have the presidency, have the majority. So wherever it comes down, it's going to benefit the Democrats. Now, we already have these states shifted, but we have more coming. Arizona's already blue, Georgia's already blue, and I can characterize these this year as tilt margin, but the Senate elections usually are lean margins in these states. So if Democrats take Texas, they can afford, and North Carolina, they can afford to lose states like Colorado. They can afford to lose even Oregon. They can afford to lose 2 Senate seats. And it's also going to benefit the House of Representatives. Now, the House of Representatives is really confusing because you have to go by districts. Districts that house large cities like Dallas or Austin are obviously going to be Democratic districts. And those districts are going to determine the electoral number. Remember, when you add how many representatives, like Texas has 36 representatives and every state has 2 senators, so that would be 38 electoral votes. But when 3 more districts are added, in Texas, these districts might be Democratic areas. And then we're going to be receiving more Democratic representatives, which could benefit the Democratic Party. This could expand the Democratic majority in the House, in the Senate, and help them in the presidency. So we've already seen how beneficial Texas is in the Senate. Let's go to the United States election. Let's just look at, in general, what happens if Democrats win Texas. And we characterize here, Democrats win, obviously, Nevada. I'm just going to characterize these as safe. Minnesota, 1 district in Nebraska. Republicans win the 2 districts in Maine. Republicans carry Iowa and Colorado. Not Colorado, Ohio, I'm sorry. And Democrats carry Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas. And even if Republicans carry Florida, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. It's done. So what if we say we characterize these states and we characterize Florida and New Hampshire? Then really in a bad situation for the Republican Party. But I'm going over how Texas could be so beneficial because if you look at this, without Texas, we'll add Ohio and Iowa. But without Texas, the Republican Party can't win an election. Well, let's just say, okay, these are states. You're going to characterize them as lean. I want you to know these. These are states that states that are shifting to Democrats. So if Texas just goes and these states don't, then Republicans can still win. 266. Maine will go to the Republican Party. But here's the thing. Arizona's blue, Nevada's blue, Georgia's blue, and North Carolina's heading blue. So even if Republicans win Florida, the whole Rust Belt, Maine, they take Illinois, they still lose. Or they take New York and they still lose. Because you're taking away the most beneficial state in the election. It's like Republicans, it's like Democrats carrying these states, and I'm giving the Republicans California. Texas is the most beneficial state for Republicans, whether it has 38 electoral votes or 41 electoral votes. But when they lose that, and they lose Nevada, they lose Arizona, they lose New Hampshire, they lose Georgia, they lose North Carolina, it's gone. And then they lose Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. And if we replay Obama's election, it gets even worse for Republicans. But on top of Obama's election, we're adding 3 states: Georgia, Texas, and Arizona. These states have 69 electoral votes. We're giving, right on the spot, 122 electoral votes in the South to the Democratic Party. And that will put Democrats over the top if they carry these states, even if they don't carry Florida. But watch what happens if we give this area. It's a fair statement. What if we give Republicans back Texas? They have a better shot at winning. Might not be the best shot, but still they lose. So what's the plan for the Republican Party? Well, I don't think Donald Trump and other Republican candidates are going the right way in winning the election. Why are they not going the right way? Because they're targeting states that are not going to benefit them. Because they're targeting states Trump didn't. Trump did. But a lot of Democratic candidates did the opposite. You look at Trump campaigning in Michigan, Trump campaigning in Pennsylvania, Trump campaigning in Wisconsin, while Biden was campaigning in Georgia, Florida, because he knew he had a shot. Well, luck ran out. Biden didn't win Florida, and Trump didn't win Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin, because these states were going to favor Biden. And the thing that Trump did wrong is these southern states are going to benefit whichever candidate who wins them a lot more than these northern states. 122 electoral votes compared to just 67. Double the amount. You win these states, okay, you don't win the election. But if you win these states, you win the election. You realize if you win the southern states, you win. But if you lose the southern states and you win the northern states, you lose. The point is, the Sun Belt, is more important than the Rust Belt. The southern regions of the United States are more important than this northern region, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, and Iowa. Losing electoral vote weight, losing numbers, losing representatives, and campaigning there will not benefit you as much as if you would have campaigned in Georgia. Who knows, maybe Trump did, if he was campaigned a bit more in Georgia, he would have won. Or Arizona. And if he won Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, North Carolina, Florida, and he lost the Rust Belt, well, in this map, 2020-wise, he would lose. Because the Rust Belt he would still lose. Because the Rust Belt holds more and more weight than the Sun Belt. But I want you to replay this. So in this map in 2020, Democrats would win. But I want you to think, not 2020, because one day, well, not one day, the 2020 election is already over. One day, we're not going to be focusing on the 2020 election. That's done. 10 years from now, we don't care about that. We care about the future. So you realize if Trump would have campaigned, here, won these states, it wouldn't benefit him as much as it would of winning the southern states. So, just winning Michigan and Pennsylvania would not put him over the top. Still, way below what he needs to be at. 233. Well, that would benefit him more. Why? Because it would benefit him more by one electoral vote. But we look at 2020, 234. So what benefits it is, one, the Rust Belt is losing weight and the Sun Belt is gaining weight. So right now, maybe the Rust Belt has more weight, but that's not the case for long, because now you might lose. But what happens 5 years from now? How is you winning Georgia for the first time in 30 years gonna mean for other Republicans? Gonna mean for a Republican in 2024? What does that mean if Trump loses Georgia and then Nikki Haley runs in 2024 and she's the Republican candidate and she doesn't benefit in Georgia and Democrats pick it up again? And it keeps subtly going its way to the Democratic Party. So my point here is Texas. I already made a video about this. Texas goes blue. Say bye to the Republican Party winning. By the way, if you haven't checked out the video, please do. It's just not going to happen. And if you had Texas, and if you had the Obama map, you almost flipped Missouri. What if they flip Missouri? And states like West Virginia are coming closer, Montana are becoming closer, Kansas is becoming closer, and Utah is becoming closer. So what if Republicans barely pick up 90 electoral votes safe? In South Carolina, it's becoming closer. Mississippi, becoming closer. Kentucky, becoming closer. Alaska, becoming closer. 59 electoral votes. Now, this is a landslide. And this is something that's probably not going to happen. But we have to think about how can the Republican Party win without Texas? And the answer to that is there is no way. Texas, the most important state for the Republican Party, as is California. When the Republican